Hey everybody, welcome to the Logan Powell Show. It's me, your host, Calvin Logan. Definitely. So hey, we're having some fun here. My name is Calvin Logan, the Logan Powell Show. We nationwide, worldwide. We love y'all. Hey everybody, welcome to the Logan Powell Show. It's me, your host, Calvin Logan, live here at the Point in North Charleston, South Carolina. Well, usually you know we're on the Now Network, and we thank you all for tuning in. We come on every Wednesday at 9:30 p.m. on the Now Network. I'm excited. A return guest. He ran for mayor of North Charleston of South Carolina. Didn't make it this time, but I know he's gonna come back again. He's the one and only, the freedom fighter, Mr. John Singletary. How you doing, sir?
Fine, how are you doing?
Great, glad to have you on the show.
Great to be on the show.
So, Mr. Singletary, you made a lot of noise in 2015, and you are still making noise in 2016.
Well, we're just speaking out for the community.
Yes, sir.
We got into the race to speak out for the community, to bring about change. And whether we want it or not, we're still about the same business. To increase in our community economic empowerment, education, through information that we disseminate throughout the community, because there should be greater parity in North Charleston. We have 50% African American, but yet we have very little in terms of the education, the resources, the contracts, the jobs in the community, and it's just not right.
Definitely. Now, for those who don't know the disparity, Mr. Singletary is talking about here in North Charleston, South Carolina, we have a population of 100,000 plus people, 50% who is African American or Hispanic. With that majority, you would think that that side would have a dominance when it comes to employment, buying power, but it's not the case. We do have some disparities, some differences that Mr. Singletary always brings out. And I think that's why he gets a lot of heat for what he does do. So, sir, you put out a recent post I saw, very interesting article. You talked about the relation from Donald Trump and the current mayor, Mr. Keith Summers, in regards to the Old Naval Hospital, the Veterans Hospital, and how the son purchased that property, and he purchased it at a low cost and has done nothing with that property in the area that does need help.
Well, I did, because many people were surprised about the mayor endorsing Donald Trump. But when you understand the relationship that's been happening underneath the table, then there's no surprise at all. The Navy Hospital was sold to Donald Trump Jr. through a non-bid situation. It didn't go out to the public. And Donald Trump Jr. then turns around and donates to the campaign, the election campaign for the mayor. When we take a look at the hospital being sold for $5 million, the settlement statement said that he brought to the table $8,500. That was it. And the deed transferred to his name without him paying the $5,000 for the property. The very next day, he then goes off to look for a loan for $10 million for a property that the mayor just said to council, and they did an ordinance saying we're going to sell it for fair market value. How do you sell it one day for $5 million? You only receive $8,500 on it, and the very next day, you say it's worth $10 million. And all of that is supposed to be fair? Absolutely not. It goes much deeper than that. But those are at least some of the things that the public need to know about. There was $1 million set aside for a grocery store, guaranteed to be built within 3 years. It's not there. when we take a look at the fact that in that side of town, they're not putting any community resources back into the community. There's no grocery store, and yet they expect those people to sit quietly and not only not make any noise, but this last election there were 8,000 people who were denied the right to vote. 8,000. I'm talking about a process called municipal underbounding. If people haven't been aware of it, they need to look it up. It's municipal, UNDERBOUNDING. It will literally floor because they're using annexation illegally in order to deny your voting rights. And when the city is asked to show the people who exist in the donut holes, then they show a list of 1,100 people. They have told the Department of Justice that we have eliminated the donut holes. There are no people who cannot vote, but yet I have the names and addresses of 8,000 people in North Charleston, the overwhelming majority of them African American, who were denied the right to vote in the last election. That's simply illegal, it's not fair, and there's no way that the African American community will ever be able to be a major player as long as they don't have voting rights.
Definitely, you're speaking very profoundly of what is being said and talked about. For those who don't know, the North Charleston race, Mr. Keith Summey, our current mayor, won. His voting was like 6,600 and some odd plus people voted for him. Mr. John Singletary was 3,000. Now, if you took 8,000 people and say you broke it up half, just say half, just give it a half, it still would have been a game changer. Now, if 8,000 voted for yourself, we would have a brand new mayor right now in North Charleston. Also, for those who don't know what he's talking about in regards to the grocery store and the Naval Veterans Hospital, that hospital has been in existence in this community for years. I'm not from here, from Los Angeles, California. I'm a military member. I'm getting out this year, 13 years, 8 years in the Marine Corps, 5 years in the Air Force. People understand a veterans hospital helps out those who don't have the right to help, because our current veterans hospital is in downtown Charleston. Now, for those who don't understand, downtown Charleston is very congested, and you have to understand that we have a lot of veterans here. We have a lot of people that if you bought something on the other side of the house would bring more infrastructure and more money to come in place. And as people don't understand, Donald Trump's biggest, you would say, strategy, he's always talking about buying property. And you can live off the interest alone, because if I bought a place for $8,500 and it's worth $10 million, and probably goes to 20, whatever the estimate is, and say debt assets, just hypothetically, say it's $2 million. I mean, I got $3 million in plus equity right now. So I decided to sell it to another player and sell it for double the amount, because now who I just bought it from said it's worth more than what I bought it for, then I just profited almost $5 million plus at that time for pennies to a dollar.
Oh, absolutely.
And then also with the grocery store. If you don't know, on Rivers Avenue, the nearest grocery store, the nearest one, on that side, you have to go down to all the way to the Walmart, if you think about distance-wise. Now, that's about a good, say, 5-7 miles click for someone to say, hey, I want to go and get groceries. And by having a grocery store nearby, it brings back first jobs. 2, it does bring back the people where they can actually don't have to travel, because, as you know, our public transportation system is very poor. So I can't say I'm going to, if an elderly person say, well, hey, I want to walk to get myself some milk. You can't do it. I have to literally call a taxi. The taxi is going to cost me maybe $20 for 5 miles up and back. So the money I was going to put into the grocery store, now I got to think about how I'm going to get there as well. Then how I'm going to get back. So you are hitting it on the nail on the head. Now, how, Calvin, do you know this? Well, Hey, I've been living in Charleston since 2006. There's been some great groceries that has closed down. My father worked in the grocery industry for 25 plus years. He's been a store manager for Safeway and Vons in California. So I'm telling you this right now, by having a grocery store, a quality one that has good food, it builds character in your community. Your community's healthy. A good hospital means that people will be taken care of. So it's profound that you are doing these great things, and I appreciate you doing it.
One of the things that's so interesting is that 80% of the people in North Charleston live in areas where it's not a grocery store, at least our people.
Yes.
And the few that are there, if you take a look at the quality of grocery stores, there's a survey that's put out. The ones that are in our area on the bottom of the list, they are the least quality grocery stores in the nation, happening in our community. When we don't have the power to vote and change things, then we simply have to accept what's been given to us. We've got about 500,000 people in the state of South Carolina who can't vote in a local election. We've got, and it's a nationwide phenomenon. It's not just in South Carolina. It's a nationwide phenomenon that's undergone that should be addressed by the federal government. But here it plays out that you can see it so vividly because the majority of African Americans live in an area with no grocery stores. We've got our elderly. That was one of the things we found out during the campaign. One of their biggest challenges is just how to get grocery for the week. Because, like you said, they're not close, then they have to wait for a taxi that's expensive, so now they can't even get all of their groceries. Those are the kinds of simple issues that happen when you don't have an administration that's responsive to the needs of all of the citizens.
Well, you know, for me, it's great that you're saying that. Like, for me, like I said, Calvin has no problem with the mayor. Like, for those who got an issue, hey, you know, email me at theloganpowershow@gmail.com. You can call me at 843-697-5545. What I'm looking at is this. I got a family. For me, since I've had Mr. Singletary here on the show, you know, I've had some political outlash. You know, why would you have a guy like this here on the show? You know, I've been under some ridicule. My family has, but I'm not ashamed to stand up for what I believe in. You know, I'm a military member. I can tell you right now, I know grapefruit. You know, fruit is not really, as you would say, advocated in our community. Now, Kyle, what are you talking about? All right. There's a difference between a good banana and a bad banana. A banana, how it starts to be green before it gets yellow. If it gets yellow, then it turns brown. And sometimes in certain schools, they're being given bananas that are discolored. Means the banana's at the rotten stage when they give it to your child. You think I'm playing? Go to certain schools, check out your fruit. You can tell the difference between a good orange and a bad orange. When you cut it, cut a certain way. Slicing it, orange, nectarines, plums. If you go to a military installation, you have what we call a commissary. Excellent fruit. First class fruit. But the biggest thing that I want you to discuss too, what I thought that was a big hurt for you when trying to become the next mayor, the Dorchester County line and North Charleston. Now, for those who don't know, a lot of people who lived on the other side of Dorchester Road, but when you call 911, North Charleston Police Department comes to the rescue. What do you think you need to work on so those people have the right to vote in the North Charleston election in the future?
There are 3 counties in which North Charleston sits. It sits in Dorchester County, Berkeley County, and Charleston County. The geographic area for North Charleston is continually improving. Watson Hill, which is actually West Ashland off of 61, is a part of North Charleston. That's on the other side of the Ashland. This is precisely the thing that we were talking about when we started investigating with the Department of Justice, is that 8,000 people who sit in the geographic area of North Charleston that they claim are not annexed in, because they sit in donor levels that was created because North Charleston went and cherry-picked white subdivisions and white individuals to belong to the city to increase their voting base. Those people who are left in so-called donut holes, they cannot vote. So if you take, for instance, Dorchester Manor, it actually goes up to the first street. It jumps over an entire neighborhood of blacks, and begins on the backside at Crusaw Creek. They can vote. And so all around this subdivision, they can vote. It is only because the city chooses to not annex them in. Now, when I say the city chooses, and I'm speaking directly from the Department of Justice documentation, the city itself filled out every application for white subdivisions. They refused to fill them out for the African Americans, but then when they submitted them to be annexed, they denied them because of a technicality. They will only annex in the 85% greater than white subdivisions because it increases their voting strength. What has to happen is, they can call me on my phone, 843-693-2823. They can call Ramon Rowan, 843-276-1300, or my brother Larry Singletary, 843-834-5734. We have a direct connection with the Department of Justice, and they want to speak to people who are, like you said, being taxed. When you police someone, that's a form of taxation. If the SC&G goes across your front lawn, look at your SC&G bill. There's a franchise fee. When you look at North Charleston's audit, it says franchise tax. The SC&G, the water company, they give that money back to the city. That's the charge that the North Charleston administration charges them to go across your property. And it goes back to the city. Code enforcement. I've seen many code enforcement tickets on people who are not a part of the city, but they're in the geographic area. That's taxation without representation. People say, oh, well, it's not your physical property. Well, taxation without representation didn't come because of physical property. It came, the Boston Tea Party. It had nothing to do with property at all. It had to do with the sales tax. So when they tax you, and the city has 10 different ways that it can actually tax you, then you have taxation without representation. It's against the law. It's illegal. Annexation in this form replaced the poll tax. So the poll tax was being used as a form of disenfranchisement that came before grandfather, a form of disenfranchisement, before the fact that they used to use literacy tax. And so all these things are a form of disenfranchisement to make sure that the voting strength of the African American community is diluted. The government told them specifically that we are not going to approve your Section 5 pre-clearance request because we find that what you're doing is done in a discriminatory fashion. And it constitutes the government, we're going to get rid of the non-holders. And they didn't. So under false pretense, they allowed many other subdivisions to come in. 39 in some instances on one application to allow them to vote, even though the state law says that they cannot cast a ballot in the local election because they didn't receive the pre-clearance. It also says that if you live within the municipality, then you get to vote on in the elections in that municipality. However, no one's pushing the issue so it's not forced. That's precisely what the Concerned Citizens Alliance that meet every Tuesday, 6:30 at 4006 Dorchester Road. We have taken upon ourselves to primarily be the person to push forward to make sure that those 8,000 people can vote, because that will make a difference in this election.
Well, you know, it's good to hear that you are a freedom fighter. Now tell us, you know, what's the game? Because see, the biggest thing that for me, and I welcome every candidate to be going for the mayor of North Charleston that's going around. I definitely welcome Mr. Sunday come on to the show. You know, for me, Calvin's the kind of person, I invited everybody. I've invited everybody. I've had, out of every last, people who were running for the mayor's race last year, Singletary came on, and I did have on my show also another one on my show too. So I reached out to some other people, see if they can definitely come onto the show. I truly believe that it's time for change. So what's the goal? Because right now we know that preparation is now. We can't say, oh, that year it didn't start. So what are we doing? What are you doing now to say preparing yourself for the next go around?
Well, truth of the matter is that the previous race not even over yet.
Okay.
The tally's been done. He's in office, but there's an opportunity to invalidate that election because of the false pretense in which he received many of the votes.
Gotcha.
That should be backed out. And if we back those out, we actually got more votes than we did. So the first thing we do is we get the 8,000 people in the position to vote. Now, understand that our issue, our problem, is much larger than one person in a key position. So Keith Summy is not our greatest issue. We believe that, on the whole, the right to vote for all citizens is not only extremely important, but it puts our community in a position of power. The power to be able to determine who governs you if you are the majority. And so we contact with the Department of Justice. We've got a continuous ongoing dialogue with them, allowing them to interview and talk to the people who were denied the right to vote. Because many of our people, they have no idea that they should have been able to vote in the last election. We're also talking with the FBI, because the public corruption that I brought out that no one wanted to talk about is going on every single day. And it is a violation of not just an individual rights, but the whole community and the nation as a whole. When you allow someone to use public corruption in order to stay in office as if they have a corner on racketeering, then it has to be addressed. And it has to be addressed by an enforcement agency. And so that's why we're going the route of dealing with the enforcement agencies outside of the state who can come in and say, listen, here are the facts. In the past, they have not been enforced. But now we're going to, so that there can be some form of justice brought to North Charleston. When you take a look at the term that I was telling you about, municipal undergrounding, it deals with a whole lot of things. Everything from utilities, but most importantly, the right to vote, because they realize that that is, if you had to give up everything in terms of what the government provides for you, the thing you want to hold on to most is the right to vote, because the right to vote helps to determine everything else. So when you start with the right foundation, it's possible to correct some of those other things. Because if this community with 50,000 African Americans can come together, our community leaders, then what would happen is we would get greater fairness. We're not anti-white. We're not here trying to say that we're going to take everything from the 38%. They need to get their 38%. But only their 38%. We need to get 50%, because we're 50% African American. 12% goes to Hispanics and Asians. So there has to be some sense of fairness and justice, and the only way to achieve that is through the voting process. So while they give us diversions to take a look at, whether it's voter ID, but happens to be extremely important, but if you got the right to vote without the ID, but yet they deny you the right to vote, you're in a worse situation. So we need to look at, first of all, the right to be able to walk into that booth and pull that lever. So right now, that is our game plan. Our game plan is to first get every citizen here, white, black, Hispanic, it doesn't matter, the right to vote. Once we can do that, then we believe that the best candidate, whether it's me or anyone else, who comes along in the best interest of the community, will be elected. And that's all we're asking.
Definitely. So for those that are watching, voting is so powerful. You know, you can't say that, I did not know. But God gives you the right to make the right decision. And like I said, I'm not trying to force a candidate. I'm just saying for me, I'm looking for change. Certain things I didn't know, so that's why I brought me to the show to have a better understanding. But hey, we're going to bring it back again because we truly believe that people like yourself is needed. And for those that are watching, hey, it's time for change. We're not saying it's white things, black things, Hispanic things. It's a people thing. We want people to have a better understanding that voting is key. Change is now. That's all the time I got. My name is Calvin Lowe with the Logan Power Show. We'll be right back. This next quick commercial break.
Survived a car accident and my breath seemed short. But God spared my life while I was on life support. Tell somebody.
What did he tell somebody?
Oh, help somebody. Give your testimony. God is good, He's good all the time. Wakes me up, gives me a peace of mind. God gives me strength, life and health. Even gives me power.
Hey everybody, and my name is Calvin Lowe with the Logan Power Show, live here at the Point in North Charleston, South Carolina. Well, you know me, I'm the kind of guy I love giving back to the community, and so I stopped a beautiful group and talked to their CEO, Ms. Tracey Hughes, the CEO of Tierras and Technology. How you doing?
Great, how are you?
Great, glad to have you on the show.
Thank you.
All right, so tell us more about this phenomenal program, Tierras and Technology.
So it's just a program that I dreamt up to encourage girls to go into technology, to have a fun way of learning computer coding, and we're learning how to write programs and movies and games using Scratch.
Wow. Hey, that's what I'm talking about. The ladies are taking over here in 2016. Come on, fellas, let's get to the ball game. We need to get back in the game. We're losing right now. We're losing. So, you came with this concept, Tierras and Technology. Did it always been your dream?
Yes. So I've been working in technology for about 16 years.
Okay.
And there aren't many women or girls in technology. So I want to make it fun, and we have our tiaras on today, and the coding, we have cupcakes and sandwiches. But just a fun way of promoting STEM, which is science, technology, engineering, and math, and encouraging girls that, you know, it can be fun, you can be yourself, and have fun in the STEM field.
Yeah, for those who know, the STEM field is a mass-moving program, and a lot of schools are going to that route, a lot of STEM schools, and it's good to see that we have these great programs live here in North Charleston, South Carolina. I'm telling you, the Logan Power Show is having some fun. So where would you like the program to be next 3 to 5 years? Big picture, what would you like?
I want to attract more, we need more volunteers, so I can open up to more young ladies. I consider them my babies. We want to expand it. So over the next few years, I would love to expand it across the whole country and just create an excitement about technology and STEM and promoting our young girls to go in that direction. So it's a wonderful, wonderful field.
Well, you know, I'm here. I've got you here in this show. You know, we want to promote what you're doing. You know, I just popped into class, saw a couple people I saw that I knew from the grade school at Charleston Collegiate. Saw a couple of my friends in there. So I like to always, you know, definitely come on to the show, let us know more what you guys are doing. But I don't think your business is just a low country thing. What about a nationwide thing?
Oh, that's a lot of pressure.
A lot of pressure. I'm from Rochester, California. I have a big mindset on bigger things. Now think about it. Most girls right now, they love tears. I want to be pretty. But you know, you always see a pretty girl, she may not have all the brain power. But Tierras and Technology, she's pretty and she's smart.
Yes.
So, can that be a nationwide phenomenon?
It can. Well, yeah, eventually I want it to grow because it's important to have a diverse, you know, not only boys, because I teach boys as well.
Okay.
And that's perfectly fine. So I want to, my goal is just the underserved and underrepresented groups and technology. But yeah, we're thinking big. I love to travel, so.
Okay, I love traveling myself, so hey, I'm always trying to figure out where the girl's gonna go and how to make some great things happen. So tell people how to get in contact with you.
So you can reach us through the Charleston Community Impact Facebook page. We promote our programs there, and we'll post our pretty pictures of our tech divas from today. But yeah, check us out on Facebook.
Okay. Well, hey, you know, everybody here at the Logan Power Show, we're here to tell people that you can be anything, doesn't matter what age you are, you can make an impact. For those that are watching, Tears and Technology, you see this right now, and you're in a different state. Let's get Miss Hughes on the phone and say, hey, I'm in the state of North Carolina. I don't want to be left out. Can I get some Tears and Technology here? The state of Georgia, hey, I don't want to be left out. Why can't you come to my place? I got girls too, you know. State of California, let's go. I want her working in 2016. I want people to understand that it's all about these programs that we don't know about. So I want to give people another opportunity to let people know that people doing some great things here. And we need platforms to give people those opportunities there. Before we go, because I want you to have the floor, tell people why should they come to you and come to your program?
First, it's fun. It's a fun program.
All right.
We have a lot of fun, and as I stated before, technology is growing. Regardless of what you do in life, everything touches technology. If you have a phone, it's technology. There are just a lot of opportunities and some wonderful places to work. I get to travel all over the world. There's just so many opportunities. So you should definitely learn technology because it opens up a lot of possibilities for you in the future to make a lot of money and have a lot of fun.
Well, we got the people in the studio audience. We're having a ball, having a blast. And for those that are watching, again, Tierras and Technology, this is a program you want to get in contact with. Get involved with them right now on Facebook. Look up Miss Tracey Hughes. I want you to get in her business. You want to tell her, hey, I don't know more about your program. But before I go, people in my studio audience, my girls, I want you to start giving a clap and shouting and saying, I'm in the building. Give a shot, say we are in the building. We are in the building. You heard me again. My name is Calvin with the Logan Power Show. Nationwide, worldwide, we're making an impact on everyone who is watching us. This program, I'm telling you right now, is going to be global. The people are going to talk about it. Even the President of the United States is going to talk about it. That's my favorite. All right, we love y'all. We'll see you on next week.
Jam Vibes Radio, the jazzful connection for all the people, playing your favorite music and talk 24/7, 365. We're the indie artist's best friend. So call us. We want to play your music and have you advertise on your favorite global station at www.jamvibesradio.biz.